Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this individual executive member decision. My name is Callum Wernham. I'm a Democratic and Electoral Services Specialist. Making the decision today, we have Councillor Sarah Kerr, who is the executive member for Climate Emergency and Resident Services. Other officers in the room today, we have Ian Goff, who's the Energy Manager for WBC. We also have David Smith, who's a Regeneration Planning Manager, and we have Sarah Morgan, who is our Assistant Director for Commercial Property. And also with us today is Liam Oliffe, who's also within Democratic Services. And with that, I'll hand over to David just to walk us through the report and recommendation, please.
Okay, it's quite a short report. So in effect, OFGEM released a consultation, an open letter consultation on their proposed reforms to the connection process for solar, PV and other energy projects to connect into the grid. They have requested responses back to their open letter on the 16th of June, and we have suggested a recommended response in the appendices that have been circulated with the papers today. And effectively, that supports the recommendations for reforms, especially in the short-term recommendations that they've made around queue management and connections. And then we've made some suggestions within that letter around the medium and longer-term proposals and the role that local authorities can potentially play within those, and the important role that local authorities will need to play within those longer term aspirations. So the context is around the Barkham Farm, where we've previously been working towards a connection date of April of 2026, and then earlier this year we're informed by SSEN that the connection could not occur until 2037, and it's set within a wider context of things that are happening within the industry and other projects and experience in connection issues as well at this moment in time. So that effectively sums up what the paper's about and what we're asking today.
Thank you. Is there anything you wanted to add, Ian, or are you happy for me to ask any questions or make comments?
No, I'm entirely happy with it. Yep.
Perfect. No, I'm really pleased that we're doing this. Obviously, in the letter, we've highlighted our own issues as an organisation, and obviously look much wider at what needs to happen in the future. Obviously, local government is key to placemaking, which the energy sector needs to recognise and work much more proactively with us on. So that's why we sort of widened out a lot of our responses for the medium and longer term. I guess just on the specifics of this, I do have a query. Whilst this is a formal response to OFGEM for their open letter and feeding into the reform that's coming, we've obviously highlighted the personal circumstances that we're in as an organisation. And I'd like to ask, could we also copy in Jonathan Brearley, the CEO, and Rebecca Barnett, who's the Director for Networks, into that, and in the covering email, I guess, and specifically request a direct response on some of the issues that we've raised. I mean, obviously, we're talking to SSEN and National Grid and got a good relationship with them working forward. But I think as the energy regulator, I'd like a direct response on those issues from OFGEM. Is that okay?
Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. Yep.
Okay. And the other thing I wanted to ask, OFGEM held a meeting on Wednesday, I think it was, with regards to this letter. Is there anything that came out of that we should be aware of?
So no, it's a webinar. There was approximately 200 participants in the webinar on the day, so there's quite a few people went along, but it was more about them sharing what the open letter was about and the reforms that they'd identified within their open letter. I guess the main thing that I took away from that is how the queue has grown from even last month. They were saying when their letters originally came out, they were at 280 gigawatts in the queue at the moment, and they said that's grown to 306 gigawatts in the last month. So that's 26 gigawatts in the last month, which they're saying is unprecedented previously. So the issues are growing. The suggestions were that the reforms they're identifying are absolutely necessary, and the medium to longer term reforms are probably need to be elaborated on and worked upon even more to make sure that they hit their targets moving forward.
I mean, unprecedented, but surely not expected, given the government's target of decarbonising the power grid by 2035, and with the shift over to EVs and electric vehicles and electric forms of heating. So no, that's really positive, and obviously we welcome some really swift action for the short term. But obviously we've put in some comments on shaping that medium to longer term. So I'm really happy with this, and I'd like to thank officers for the amount of time that's gone into putting this together. It's a really tricky one, but I feel fairly confident that things are going in the right direction. I just hope they get on with it quickly.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. So just for those watching online, I'll just read out the recommendation. It's set out on agenda page 5. And it is that the Executive Member for Climate Emergency and Resident Services approves the proposed representations from Wokingham Borough Council to an OFGEM open letter consultation regarding future reform to the electricity connections process as appended to this report. Sarah, you're happy to make that decision?
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll just sign the decision sheet now.
Thank you.
Oh, I sign as well.
I wasn't sure who was signing. Who was signing.
Thank you very much. So subject to the standard 5-day cooling period, this decision can be made official. And with that, I will close the meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.